Hey girls, Courtney and Erin here with Adorned Girl, where we are making videos to empower young women to adorn the truth of God's Word, to walk in the Spirit, and to disciple the next generation. Today we are actually telling the story of the resurrection. So we're not technically going to go word for word, but we are going to go through and just kind of tell a story. You can find the different accounts of the resurrection in Matthew 28, Mark 16, Luke 24, and John 20. And these are written by, of course, different people. So you're going to get a slightly different perspective. Mm-hmm. It's the same story, but if you think of someone looking at a picture from different angles, they're going to see something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or they might notice something.
Due to their personalities.
Yeah. And their perspective and all of that. So don't think that the Bible is contradicting itself, because it's not. Yeah. This is just the account from different perspectives.
Yeah, and in fact you'll find that they all agree. Especially with the main purpose, which is the resurrection of Jesus. So.
Jesus really rose from the dead.
Check.
So, we see these different accounts. I think the first four say Mary Magdalene and some women, and some of them name the women, and then John just says Mary Magdalene. Well, we know that there were women there, so,
Go women.
It is what it is. So in Matthew 28, we see that Mary Magdalene, it was, the first day of the week, began to dawn. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came, and they saw the tomb. And there was this giant earthquake. And the angel of the Lord descends from heaven and rolls back the stone, basically. Like, just like that.
Sitting on it, like chilling.
Yeah, just sitting there. It literally says, rolled back the stone from the tomb, from the door, and sat on it. Okay, he just sits on it like, what's up?
Yeah.
His countenance was not like lightning. His clothing was white as snow. I mean, he was just like this very impressive guy, right? And the guards are afraid, and they literally become like dead men. So they're not guarding anything at this point. The angel answers and says to the women, "Don't be afraid. I know that you seek Jesus. He was crucified, but he's not here anymore." He's like, literally. Okay, that sounds crazy, but he literally is. He's just like, now he's just going from place to place, doesn't have to walk. He's like, I don't know, traveling in space. Yeah. Basically, from one place to the other, just appearing, which is kind of crazy. Whereas before, he was basically mortal. Yeah. Now he's immortal. Which he was already, but yeah. Whatever. He was both.
Before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, the women, the angel actually gives the women a commandment. He's like, go tell the disciples, go tell all of them that he's not here, and that he's risen from the dead. And in fact, he's going to meet you. He's going to find you. And so they go and they tell the disciples. And then Jesus actually appears to them several times. So he appears to several different individuals at really different occasions. Mm-hmm. He appears to Mary Magdalene. And this was the woman who he had driven demons from, 7 demons. And so she was the one, after she had seen Jesus, she went and she told the disciples. And they didn't really believe it. Mm-hmm. And they ran to go see if it was true what she was saying, that he really had risen from the dead. And I think even John talks about Peter, he started running. Maybe John started running, and there was like a race to see who would get to see Jesus first. The other disciple outran Peter, and he made it to the tomb first. Then Peter shows up, and he saw that there were only linen clothings left where Jesus had once laid. And, interestingly enough, Jesus, again, we said he appeared to several different people. he appeared specifically to the Emmaus disciples. It was two men who were walking from Jerusalem, and they were discussing everything that had taken place about Jerusalem. And they're kind of arguing about it. And then Jesus actually walks up and he appears to them. And they didn't recognize him. It says they were prevented from recognizing him. And he's like, why are you having this dispute? What's it all about? And so they started telling him. They're like, have you not heard what's been going on about this Jesus? And so they told him what had happened. And they said, we were hoping that he was the one who was about to redeem Israel. Besides all this, it's the third day since these things happened. And then some women from our group went and they said that the body wasn't there anymore. And they came and they told us of that. They said the angels, they saw a vision of angels and they said he was alive. And it's empty and we don't know what happened. And so Jesus quickly, he kind of rebukes them and he says, you know, you guys are really foolish and slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. And it says, wasn't it necessary for the Messiah to suffer these things and enter into his glory? So they're not recognizing who he is. And he's continuing to talk with them. Well, as they got closer to where they were headed, he gave the impression he was going to go on further. And they're like, no, please stay with us. Please stay. Mm-hmm. And so he went in and he stayed with them. And as they ate, they sat down to eat, their eyes were open because he broke the bread. He took the bread, he blessed it, and he broke it, and he handed it to them. And their eyes were open, and they recognized him. But he did the thing Courtney was talking about. He disappeared from their sight. And so then they were like, our hearts were burning within us while he was talking with us on the road. And that very hour they got up and they returned to Jerusalem. They found the 11 and they said, the Lord truly has been raised. So Jesus, the whole point of me going through that whole spiel was because I wanted to just let you know, like, Jesus appeared to several different people, and there are accounts of several, and it's not just all at one time, which he did do that as well, right before he ascended. He appeared to everyone kind of at once, but he appeared to individuals, and he impacted their lives individually and let them know, you know, I am alive, mm-hmm. and I am risen forevermore, verifying what he said.
Yeah, and we can look at John 20, and he specifically goes to Thomas. Thomas was doubting it. He was like, oh, you know, Jesus has not risen, blah, 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 blah. He was just in doubt of it. And then there's Jesus, okay? And he's like, peace be to you. Reach your finger here. Touch. Look at my hands. Mm-hmm. Touch my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing. We know that Thomas was there when he asked Peter, he was like, who do you say that I am? And then Peter, you know, there was the revelation there. Well, then Thomas has to have the revelation again of who Jesus is and that he is risen. Yeah. And Thomas answered and said to him, my Lord and my God. Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. So we see that he did appear to individuals to impact their lives individually and then, you know, collectively. And that's what he does.
Yeah. And like the cool thing is, just as Jesus said that to Thomas, we have not seen Jesus with our natural eye. I know that God has appeared to some, and that's amazing. That's awesome. That's their experience. I personally have never seen a physical Jesus in physical form. However, the Bible just says, blessed are those who have not seen, yet they still believe. So there's already we have a blessing on us when we believe that Jesus is real, that he has died and he rose again for our salvation. There's a blessing on that. Mm-hmm. And there's a blessing on the lives of the people that believe it. Yeah. So if you believe that, you can take that and claim that blessing. Yes, you are very blessed.
We hope that you learned a little bit about the actual story of the resurrection. It's a very powerful story. and we're thankful for it.
Yes.
If you have any questions, of course, you can always contact us, contact your pastor, pastor's wife. We hope that you will share this, like our page, get more girls involved. We'd love to connect with them. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye.